Hey everyone, Vonlin here with my fourth Rome Total War video. If you watched my third one, which if you haven't yet, you should go watch it right now. Pause this video, go to my channel and find my first, second, and third videos, then watch this one. Okay, you're back? Good, excellent. As you know, I said on my third video, I felt like I was probably going to go viral on it, so I'm sure I'm super popular on YouTube by the time you're watching this. Congratulations to myself. If not, I bet this will be the big one that goes out. Anyways, in my fourth video, I realized I'm playing Rome Total War and showing you guys commentaries from them, but I've yet to actually show you a battle where a Roman faction is represented in the battle. So I finally have chosen to do that in this one. This is actually my opponent's army, not mine. My opponent is playing the House of Julii, and his name is Vikingatlarge. I honestly don't play as Rome that much in Rome Total War. I kind of find them boring and a little too mainstream, although I don't like to put it that way. It makes me sound really hipster, which is not the case whatsoever, but I really like playing the Eastern factions or the Barbarian factions a lot. You can see I'm playing Egypt in this battle. The rules on this are no artillery, no elephants, 15,000 denarii, CWB standard rules, so it's probably the most competitive, fairest game that I've shown you so far in my commentaries. And I'm going to also try, and this time I noticed in my first three videos that my mic quality is not the best, that it catches puffs of air, so I'm going to try not to do that. I apologize if it's happening. I can't hear it while it happens. I only watch it in the replays. And hopefully my mic doesn't go too staticky. I'm going to upgrade to a new mic very soon, so the future videos will have excellent sound quality. And I think I'm also going to have to get a new hard drive. But enough about me. Time to talk about this battle. I've deployed 6 Pharaoh's Guard. I've deployed 4 Pharaoh's Bowmen. My general is an Egyptian cavalry general. I have 4 Nile cavalry on my flank here, making up my cavalry. And on my other flank, I have 2 Egyptian chariots. So I've deployed a pretty balanced army. In my first 3 videos, I really demonstrated and showcased, my top favorite 3 units: Cataracts, Berserkers, and Pharaoh's Bowmen. And this one, I'm really just trying to play a normal army and show you guys a normal balance against some Romans here. My opponent here has a whole smorgasbord of different legionary units: 2 archer auxiliary in the front, 2 Hastati behind them, next to a Patrian cohort, an urban cohort, a legionary first cohort, 2 things of Triarii, which is the Roman spear unit, as you can see. He has some more archers in the back, some incendiary pigs, 2 pieces of artillery, scorpions and repeating ballistas, which actually are against the rules in CWB, and he shouldn't have been using these, but they're not super powerful artillery, and it's not really that big of a deal, but technically he shouldn't have any artillery deployed. He has one thing of Equidites, which is Roman light cavalry carrying a spear, next to his general, Roman armored general, and then another cavalry flank on this side with 2 more Equidites and some Roman cavalry, so a mix of heavy and light cavalry. I'll go ahead and hit play and get this going. Again, both of us deployed pretty balanced armies. Cavalry, he's got a lot of legionary units, some spears, and some archers. You guys hear me talk a lot about range superiority and judging that. He has these archer auxiliaries, 3 units of it compared to my 4 Pharaoh Bowmen. Archer auxiliary, interesting enough, do have super long range and outrange basic archer units, so they match the Pharaoh's long range, but they're not nearly as heavily armored, nor do they do nearly as much damage, so you're going to see them lose this exchange of arrows as the battle begins with its first skirmish. You'll see some dust being billowed behind my army here, and that is me switching my cavalry flanks around. I'm bringing all my cavalry to my right wing and moving my chariots to the left wing. I did this because I saw that he has less cavalry on this side, and I'm trying to put my chariots into a position where they can maybe get into his infantry lines, and I can take advantage of that. I'm hoping he doesn't readjust his army to match what I just did as we go through these skirmishing phases. He's also going to bring his artillery up into range so they can start opening up on my army. And unfortunately for me, he does readjust his cavalry, mirrors my movement, he knows what's up. But interestingly enough, he doesn't bring his other cavalry to this side. He brings all of his cavalry to his right flank to where my chariots are, but he leaves his left flank, for now, exposed, which hopefully I can take advantage of later with my own cavalry. I'm going to go ahead and hit fast forward here for a little bit because it's just our archers shooting at each other, and we'll get to some more interesting points of this battle after I whittle away everything. So as you can see, his archers have retreated there. He's bringing up the artillery now. He's going to pull back his units so my archers can't hit them. Probably a smart decision. And at this point, he has these ballistas firing at me, so I'm not having that. I have my archers pick off his units, and I bring forward 1 unit of Nile cavalry to attack these exposed ballistas, which he's not doing a very good job of protecting. He does send in some incendiary pigs, but they're not really going to do much to stop this cavalry charge, to be honest. Incendiary pigs, for those of you who don't know, again, one of the more comical units for Rome Total War. They're literally poor little piglets that get set on fire and then pushed at the enemy. They're used to scare cavalry and elephants. But as you can see, they really didn't do much there. I pulled out my Nile cavalry, took a few losses, nothing substantial, and I took out his artillery piece. So successful exchange for me. I'm feeling pretty good about these opening moves of this battle. And with that, he's going to start attacking me with these scorpions here. That's the next challenge I kind of have to deal with. So I bring my cavalry back up. No, excuse me, I'm not bringing my cavalry, but I'm actually bringing my archers forward to deal with this. Again, our cavalry flanks, we haven't really done much with them. They're standing still. Both of our infantry is just hanging back in reserve, out of range of any of these melee exchanges. I really don't feel comfortable charging him until I've taken care of all this artillery. And he's not going to charge me until he's fired as much of this artillery ammo and used as much of it up as he could. I'm adjusting my spearmen a little bit, bringing them closer. I'm bringing my cavalry up. I'm just keeping everything in a good position so when I'm ready to go into attack mode, I can. You see just the archers firing back and forth. My archers are starting to do pretty good work to these scorpions. He's going to try to pull them back, but it's going to be too late, I think. My archers are doing their damage and killing all of the operators of the artillery, so that negates that. I've kind of cleared up the range parts of the battle, and it's time for this to get a little bit more interesting. You can see I send forward some Nile cavalry here. I'm chasing off some archers. We'll see how he responds. He detaches his general and sends his general in himself. I have my own archers start firing into his cavalry at this point. I'm going to try to kill some actual expensive units now that I've eliminated all of his archers. See if I can't take advantage and further push this ranged unit superiority that I have. I pull back my Nile cavalry. I'm not really interested in fighting his armored general. He would win that fight. I'm going to go ahead and just speed it up for a few moments here, everyone. He's going to try to chase back his archers, chase back my archers, excuse me, with some equidites. But I'm just going to simply pull him out of the way. He might kill a few of them, but not too much happens. That guy just got hit by artillery there, if you saw that. Now, he actually overextends this cavalry here, and you're going to see I'm going to catch my Nile cavalry, which is I'm using heavy cavalry against his light cavalry, so they just go down. You got to be very careful with equidites. They're fast and they're lightly armored, and they have a good charge, but if they actually get attacked by anything, they go down quick, so I caused that unit to rout, and I'm starting to gain a little bit of a cavalry advantage here. I find in a lot of my battles, what happens to me is what I just did to him is I try to harass them with my cavalry, and I get tangled up in either melee units or cavalry units of their own, and I lose my cavalry in the early skirmish stages of the battle, and then I'm not able to control the map very well throughout the rest of the battle. So if you're trying to improve your Total War game play, just a really big thing that I don't think people pay enough attention to is just keeping that cavalry alive, using that cavalry to do damage but not committing it, using it just enough to tip the scales in your favor without losing your cavalry. Just holding on to them and having them towards the end of the battle and in the middle of the battle makes such a big difference. You see, I saw all my Nile cavalry looking really healthy while, they've caused quite some significant damage. And this guy, he's only got 2 things of equidites left, which are not going to be able to hold up if it comes to shove in the cavalry battle here. His Roman cavalry just isn't going to be enough heavy cavalry. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I have an advantage, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start trying to force some more engagements here. I'm going to do that in 2 ways. I'm going to start marching my Pharaoh's Guard spearmen up, and I'm going to bring my chariots in to fight against his cavalry. Or excuse me, I think I missaid that. I didn't realize these are cavalry auxiliary actually, which I thought these were equidites. These are actually javelin throwing ranged cavalry that he has here. And I'm going to try to chase down with my chariots. These chariots, meanwhile, are fighting what he has left of melee cavalry here. Chariots make pretty short work of them. Just tear them to pieces. Again, it's because they're light cavalry. They don't stand up well in combat. So, what you see I've been able to do here, as I catch his other cavalry unit with these chariots, is I've now wiped out pretty much all of his cavalry, except for his general himself. So now it's time for things to for the blood to start flowing in this battle. Let me speed it up here. You see my cavalry got stuck up in his urban cohort, so that's what I'm talking about. Those cavalry, you don't want to commit to them too much. You see I've lost my chariots, no longer have them, didn't really get any kills for it. You see a lot of chariot bodies and only a few Roman ones, so not that it really matters that much. I still have some more chariots, I still have all my Nile cavalry, and it's time for the infantry battle. We have the first engagement going on the left wing here. Some Pharaoh's Guard are going to fight some Triarii. So Roman spears versus Egyptian spears. We have an advantage in that my men can do a phalanx formation. Something really popular in all of the eastern factions. But he is going to catch me a little bit on the side here and surround this unit, which is good for him, but he's using 3 units to kill the 1, and he's going to really leave himself exposed on the main line here as he charges in with some legionary cohorts against some more of my Pharaoh's Guard. At this point, as his units get committed, it's time for me to press that cavalry advantage that I've earned myself in the earlier stages of this fight. I'm going to move my cavalry behind his force, get behind him, and charge into the rear of his infantry and try to force some damage and routes. And right away, boom, as soon as I hit, you see this unit routes right away. And again, I mean, if you play a lot of Total War, you know how effective cavalry charges are to the rear, but I really just can't overstate how much they're just the deciding factor. Again, you know, he's committed a lot of infantry to the left flank. He's winning over here, but my cavalry is just mopping up everything else. You know, again, another cavalry charge in the back of these Triarii isn't quite as effective because these Triarii weren't engaged previously, so they just turn around with their spears, and I pull back out of that. I don't want to have that fight. Instead, I'll let my own spears move forward and take care of this. I mean, I'm keeping the pressure on him. I'm not letting him disengage. I'm not letting him regroup. I'm not letting him organize. I'm not letting him chase down my cavalry. I'm going to keep these units moving forward and let them just tie up as many of his units as I can so I can use my cavalry. You see my bowmen are going unscathed. Again, if he had cavalry alive right now, he could be in here attacking all of these bowmen, and I wouldn't be able to fire at his units, but that isn't the case, fortunately for me. My Nile cavalry, again, just charging back in and really just showing the power of cavalry. He brings in what equidites he can, but they are not going to hold up. So I think you can kind of tell at this point, I'm not spoiling it, that I'm going to win this battle. He commits his general into the Nile cavalry, but it's too little too late. We have some individual skirmishes going on the Pharaoh Guards. And there you go. His general is in flight. His army is going to rout very easily. My Nile cavalry just barely misses his general to come clean up. And there's really not going to be a whole lot left to see in this battle, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want to show a Roman faction actually being played in my Roman Total War commentaries. Again, I don't really like playing as Rome that much, so of course I chose a video where Rome loses. Maybe in one of my future Rome Total War commentaries I'll actually use Rome myself, but it'll probably be me losing a fight if that's the case. But nothing wrong with that. I shouldn't show you guys all videos of me winning and try to paint this awesome ponage picture. I think I'm overstating my skill by doing that. I just happen to be choosing some battles where I get to use units that I enjoy, and I can kind of talk about how I use them. By all means, I don't claim to be the end-all be-all Rome Total War player. But in this one, I do win. There is his general killed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think this is going to wrap it up for my Rome Total War commentaries for now, and I'm actually going to have my next video be a Medieval 2 Total War battle. It's It's actually my first ever multiplayer battle that I did in Medieval 2 Total War. I've done a lot of online Total War games, but never in Medieval. So I hope you guys will tune into my channel, subscribe, hang around, and look forward to that video. Thank you.